My journey started when I was 9 months old. So when my parents took me to Kensington Swimming Pool, it's also known as the Ulster Swimming Pool in Bangalore. My parents would take me here, watch me play around in the water, and I was really enjoying the blue. I blended so well with the blue there. And then at some point, I started to learn to swim. My father taught me how to swim. And when I was 4 years old, I finally started competing in national, state, and I also represented school and college. As a student, as a student, we give in a lot of hard work, we sacrifice a lot, and we commit a lot to get very good grades. We all want to have this excellent job. We want to excel professionally and in our personal life. But then what happens? College taught me something very different. I have a very deep and very personal bond with St. Joseph's Arts and Science. Right now it's known as St. Joseph's University, where I did my bachelor's in degree. And Joseph's made me who I am today. It taught me how to be a better human being. It taught me humility and how to show compassion, which is something I live by every day as the person I am, making me a better version of myself every day. Then I went to St. Joseph's Commerce College. I seem to be having a lot of common things to do with Joseph's. It's because from one institution to the other, I felt that the same thing continued for me as a person. Show humility, compassion, and be a better human being. So I was back in Commerce College in 2009. And after college, I went into the corporate ladder in the HR. And I started climbing and climbing and climbing for about 8 years. But then at some point, I don't know why, I ended up going to Kensington Swimming Pool back in 2018. And I walked in and I was just overwhelmed. Because this is where everything started for me as an open water swimmer, as a swimmer that I am today. And well, I just realized this is what I love. I felt so overwhelmed with love and passion of swimming that I felt when I was a child. So I was back again, and now I had a choice. Should I continue the corporate world, or should I continue being an open water swimmer? Well, I had a chance, I had a choice. So I became an open water swimmer. And as an open water swimmer, my father started to coach me again. Back again in the pool, doing these little trainings, slowly putting me in the pool and training me harder. And in 2019, I swam 81 kilometers in 12 hours in the world's longest open water swim in the Hooghly River. At the Hooghly River in Mushirabad. That is Bula Chaudhary. She's one of the oldest open water swimmers in the country. And this is just the beginning of the journey of open water swimming. I can't really tell you in this many words how much I love to swim. I love it. I am so passionate about it. And it's something that keeps me going day in and day out. So while this adventure started, I went to Bombay in 2023, and I swam 36 kilometers in 8 hours and 44 minutes, and I had dolphins by my side. And later that year, in March 2023, I set out for my first attempt of the two-way of our Ram Setu. I was 10 hours in the swim, and wow, it was fantastic. It's, I think, one of the most bluest, cleanest waters I've ever swam. And on the way back, I had a really bad shoulder injury, and also the fear of the dark, because this is the first time I was swimming in the dark. I decided to abort the swim. This failure hit me pretty hard, to be honest, because it was the first thing that I had to actually do solo. You know, I wasn't really doing this as a team. So as a team, everybody takes their own understanding of, okay, you know, we lost as a team, we'll do better next time. But because open water swimming is a very solo sport, it became my failure, a very personal failure. I know when my parents saw me going through hell when I was back home, so I was back after a few months at the pool. This time there was no turning back. There was more rigorous training. I had to get stronger mentally and physically. There is no turning back now. And I kept pushing myself during training, because what happens when you're training, that's when you know that even if I'm training 70, 80, 100 kilometers a week, my swim is only 62 kilometers. So it's okay, it can be done. So that was what I kept telling myself. And when, in March 2023, when I stepped back into the Indian shore, I was not just an open water swimmer anymore. I was called the Aqua Woman of India. For covering a distance of 62 kilometers in 19 hours and 21 minutes. I think that was the defining moment for me to change so much as a person, because this was just not my achievement alone. It was for my parents, and it was for my country, Jai Hind. And people are like, Sucheta, I'm an aspiring triathlete, I'm an aspiring open water swimmer. Will you coach me? I was like, why not? So now as an open water swimmer, I have the experience and the skill. So people slowly started to understand that, okay, she knows what she's doing. So I said, okay, it's just not enough being a swimmer. I had to do something about it and gain the knowledge. So I went to Sports Authority of India in our Bangalore campus, where they have the National Institute of Sports. And I got my certificate as a coach. That was another defining moment for me. Because now nobody could actually challenge me and tell me, you're not a coach, what do you know? But also, with this knowledge, it made me a better swimmer, a far, far better swimmer, and a much, much better coach. Because now, with the skill, experience, in the middle of nowhere, not knowing what to do, you start working your mind, and you're like, okay, it's your presence of mind that kept me going. You can't teach people that, but you can make them stronger. You can make them much more faster, and develop their technique to a point where it becomes efficient, cost-effective, where you don't have to spend too much energy. So that is what being a coach is to me. Watching my students at every point keep achieving and achieving like I do in my life. It makes me very proud to say that my students are triathletes. They've gone for so many Ironman, and their swim leg seems to be getting better every year, thanks to the coach. And I've had 4 swimmers last year also swim across the English Channel successfully. And later this year, I have 3 more swimmers swimming across the English Channel. Then started OWSF, my foundation, my pride. I am so proud of this foundation. It's because now swimmers, we go out, we're like, enjoying the blue and everything. But then we have swimmers who, are coming to the water for the first time. And they're like, Sucheta, what is OWSF about? So OWSF is a non-for-profit where we believe in swim to revive nature. We set out with 2 missions in mind. One is to protect our open water bodies. So OWSF is trying to create this into people's mind, create the knowledge saying, this is water. Tomorrow you need this. Without this, you have nothing. Trust me, the sunlight won't really work if you don't have water. So this is what OWSF is for me, where these first-time swimmers, they're so, loving the pool, and then they want to experience the open water swimming. So they come to me and they're like, Sucheta, I'm scared. I have so many fears and inhibitions. So I was like, well, come over. And I teach them these few techniques that they can actually try out, demonstrate these open water techniques, so they can practice them with me, and I guide them. When I started to keep reinventing different swims, when I started to implement other ways of coaching my students, getting them also out of the monotony and mundane workouts that we used to do, I realized that it's just not reinventing myself, it's actually self-developing and getting better for myself, because that is what gets me out of bed every morning. That's what keeps me going, because without that, it's just another day in the pool, and you don't want that. You need to find something new. You need to find a new idea that actually makes you tick. When that one tick happens, believe me, you will do anything in the world to make it happen. And it happens because you want to do it. I start to create a space for children and for adults to come in and to pursue swimming as a sport they never really wanted to try or pursue. So I know it is not easy to try something, but unless you take the first step, you never know what's going to happen. With so much that I've been trying to instill in people, one of the most important things I'm trying to instill is the respect for the spirit of sportsmanship. I find that lacking in many of us today. And somehow I feel when I have these kids who are coaching with me, I want to start there with them. Once I start with them, I can keep taking them up and up and up and make it a very prominent thing that the spirit of sportsmanship is just not in you. It is respecting it when you're out in a big forum as such. But at some point, you need to learn to enjoy the open water swimming. So there's a friend of mine who saw me and said, "You're a good coach. You have the ability, you have the talent." And then he nudged me into starting the Aqua Woman Learn to Swim School. It's been about 2 weeks since I've started this school, and it's been an incredible adventure. We have these little children between the ages of 3.5 and 5 years old, and I get to share my joy and my knowledge with them. They are a powerhouse of energy. You know, when they come there, they're like, they just want to jump into the water. You know, I see that enthusiasm to learn, that, I just want to do this because, ma'am is there. And, oh my, I can't even start to tell you that it gives me so much joy as a person, as a personal achievement that I've done, is have these children come with me and learn to swim. Like that little girl I showed you in the first picture, I see that in them. That passion, that zeal to learn. So I keep, over time, these 5 years, being an open water swimmer, being a student, being a coach, being the founder of OWSF, and now my Learn to Swim school, I have learned patience, conviction, and resilience are the 3 most important things that have kept me rooted. Patience is, like I said, I'm only patient not with myself most times. I have to be patient with my students. I have to be patient with them because each and every one is so unique and different. I cannot use the same method of coaching to everybody. So I have to break it down and figure out, okay, this person has this problem, he needs to be coached this way. How can I come up with a better planning where I can make everybody work together as a team too? So it takes a lot of patience to come to that and learn to be kind to myself. After my failure at my first attempt, I know what I put myself through. I didn't make things easy for myself. So I realized it's time for self-love. Give myself time to really ease it down. It's okay to fail. Nothing hit me so hard than that, but I overcame that because I learned self-care and self-love. That was what patience did for me. Conviction. We all use the word conviction, but how often do we actually implement this? So conviction is something that I know I'm going to start something new, I'm going to fail. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to put my head up with confidence. I probably lost terribly, trust me. But I put my head up with confidence and say, yes, I'm going to wake up the next morning and I'm going to do better. So that is what conviction did to me. Resilience, man. I've battled that word myself. It's not been easy, battling a word which has so much in it. But resilience has taught me that no matter what happens, pick yourself up. You don't have a choice. Pick yourself up, go back, do it. Train harder, train more rigorously. You need to do anything in the world to get past that point. And believe me, I have cried in the pool. When people ask me why your goggles don't fog, I was like, darling, these are training tears. It's painful. I have cried when I'm training. So I know what I have put in to get to be where I am today. I'm going to say now, whether you've never set foot in the pool, you've never played on the beach or felt the salty spray on your face, you're right there in the middle of the ocean in Mother Nature, experiencing the sunrise, the sunset, battling the waves, or swimming in this really calm blue waters like this, and a starry night with dolphins swimming next to you. I'd really like to invite you all to take the first plunge with me, embrace the unknown, and step into the love of the endless blue. Isn't that beautiful? I do hope I have earned the privilege of your time. Thank you all and have a lovely day.